live already this morning. Gosh, let me adjust just a little bit. It is Thursday morning here on Victoria School of Etiquette, and I'm so glad to have you join us on this morning. You all come on in, tag a neighbor, tag a friend, and you all come on in and join the discussion this morning. I hope that many of you saw the notice that I sent out earlier to let you know that I would be coming on live this morning to discuss a topic that is hot topic on this morning. So you all tag a neighbor, tag a friend, come on in. I'm Lady Victoria, your etiquette educator and your worthy life coach, broadcasting to you live from the great windy city of Chicago. You know how we say we are the best in the Midwest. Chi-Town is what we like to call it. And I'm happy to have you be a part of our platform and our discussion on this morning. Please don't be shy about sharing your comments in the comments section below. And we're going to talk about it this morning. I entitled this one, I Almost Aborted My Baby. Almost aborted my baby. Wow. How many of you have children? You know, drop it, just drop something in the text, show me a raised hand or, type in me if you have children. If you birth any children in this world. Good morning. Is that Emmett? Good morning, Emmett. My Elvis hair. Good morning, ProStar. Thank you for that. What's the topic? It's not showing up. It's not showing up in there. The topic is I almost aborted my baby. That's the topic on this morning. Let me just type it in the chat. The topic is I almost aborted my baby. Yeah, that's the topic on this morning. I almost aborted my baby. And it's a hot topic considering the political climate and the state and condition of our world today, but it's always a hot topic. Many of you probably know that the abortion rates have gone up considerably over the last few years. Abortion laws have been changed in recent years, and in some states, you can get an abortion almost all the way up to the birthing of the baby. You can get an abortion that far in advance. And in some states where they're not allowing it, but you can travel to another state. And unfortunately, Illinois is a hot state where abortion is concerned. You can come to the state of Illinois and have an abortion up until just before the baby is born. New York is another hot state. So if you live in neighboring communities, if you live in Wisconsin, if you live in Indiana, and I'm not as familiar with those, the abortion laws in those states, but I know here in Illinois, you can get an abortion almost all the way up until birth. And then, of course, there are those that are on the fence from the beginning of pregnancy all the way to the bitter end. And so they have the choice to make that decision or not. But the abortion rates are through the roof. And I just think that it's terrible that that is the case. But we're not talking about everybody else. I am kind of sharing my story on this morning where I almost aborted my baby. I didn't abort the baby, and I'm glad I did not do so. Now, when we talk about abortion, oftentimes we're talking about, actual lives, real children that are being birthed into this world. I'm the person that believes that conception begins the moment that the seed and the sperm come together. You have a live baby in your belly at that time. So I'm not caught up with, it's not a baby until you can feel movement, or it's not a baby until it's time to be born. No, it's a baby growing the entire time. You can see the growth and the development. When the woman has the ultrasound, you can see what's going on. You can see their hands developing, their feet developing, their eyes developing. When they begin to grow hair, you can feel flutters and heartbeats as early, some women say, as 12 weeks. They can feel flutters and heartbeats. And I have 4 children that I have birthed into this world. So I'm an authority, right? Because I have 4 of them that I birthed into this world on my own. And so I know what it's like to carry the baby. I know what it's like to have morning sickness. I know what it's like, to go through all of the various stages of pregnancy, your first trimester, your second trimester. In the first trimester, you're sick all the time. You're vomiting, you're throwing up. You need those iron tablets, but you take them and they make you feel even worse. And there are various things that we try to do to calm down the morning sickness, where we eat dry toast and you eat crackers, and sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. You drink ginger ale and sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. Your appetite changes, your body changes. All of these things happen. You go through sometimes various emotional stages. Your hormones are raging. They're all out of balance because you're carrying this baby. You're carrying this live human being on the inside of you, and it is growing. And the protrusion of your belly is evidence that you are carrying a child. You are carrying a human being, something with a heartbeat. The child feeds off of you. Whatever you eat, the child eats. However you feel, the child can pick that up. When you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're happy, they can pick up those various emotions because they're connected to you, not just through the umbilical cord, but they're connected to you actually heartbeat to heartbeat. That's how I felt when I was carrying my children. I felt that we were connected heartbeat to heartbeat. So, when you're a first time mom, you're learning a lot of new things. And no matter what someone has told you about their experiences, or no matter what the doctor has told you, or no matter what the nurse has told you, no matter what the clinician has told you, if you're having a midwife, if you're having natural childbirth, no matter what people have told you, you don't know what carrying a child is like until you carry one. No diss to the dads, because we couldn't have the baby without you. Some dads I know, some fathers, some husbands experience some of their wife's pangs, Pangs. They physically and emotionally feel some of the pangs of her pregnancy, carrying this child. Sometimes the mom is on an emotional roller coaster, up today and down tomorrow, up today and down 5 minutes, down 5 minutes. So sometimes they, Tyrone been winning Watts. Thank you, Tyrone. But sometimes the men can feel those emotions and they pick up on it. Sometimes they feel sick. Sometimes they feel very, very tired. That's because they're also emotionally tied to that woman. There are so many different things that we go through when we are carrying a child. Our skin changes. Sometimes our hair changes. Sometimes our feet get a size bigger after we've given birth to children. So it can be a very traumatic experience. And I don't want to say that I mean trauma in a bad way. I don't want to characterize it that way, because the emotional joys of carrying a child and then birthing that child and bringing that child into the world, there's no joy like that whatsoever. None like that whatsoever. And for me, it was brand new every single time I experienced it, from baby number 1 to baby number 2, 3, and 4. And each experience was uniquely different in its own way. My first child was my first child, and I was young, and it seemed like it was really a lot. When I got to the point where I actually went into labor, well, before I went into labor, my water started leaking. And because my water was leaking, the doctors were concerned. And so they said, listen, we're going to bring you in and we are going to induce labor for you. We're going to induce your labor. So they're provoking the baby to come. And so I went into the hospital and, they strapped me in and all that. They put me on the monitor. They put me on the machines. They gave me the Pitocin so that they could induce labor. And I went through labor for 2 days. No baby came within those 2 days. So by then I was tired, I was worn out, I was a little bit upset. You brought me in here to do all of this, to bring this baby forth artificially, by artificial means. And she decided she wasn't ready. So she wasn't coming. I was ready to go home. I asked him to take me back up to my room. I went up to my room and I started to get dressed to go home. Before I could get dressed to go home, natural labor kicked in. The natural process kicked in, and she decided that she was ready. And eventually she made her debut. And for a first baby, it only took me 3.5 to 4 hours, which is miraculous for a first baby. You carry that child for 9 whole months, 40 weeks, 38 weeks, sometimes 41 weeks, 42. Before the baby decides when they are going to make their debut. But while you're carrying the child, you have a responsibility to nurture them, to take care of them, to keep them safe. They're inside the womb, so they're protected when they're in there. But we also have to make sure and be careful of the things that we eat, the things that we drink, because whatever we ingest, the baby gets it too. We also have to be careful of the things that we take into our other gates, our other openings, our ear gates, our eye gate, even our nose gate. It's not just the mouth gate that we have to be concerned about. We have to make sure that we take care of our physical bodies. We have to make sure that we take care of our body temple. You have to keep it well. You have to keep it healthy. If you were a mom that exercised pre-pregnancy, you can still exercise with your doctor's approval and with that of your physical fitness instructor if you have one. But if you've been exercising before you were pregnant, you can continue to exercise during and throughout your pregnancy. It's called self-care. And you have to remember you're not only caring for yourself, but you're caring for that child that you're carrying. Because again, everything we take in, so does the baby, not just the food. That's when I talked about our other gates, the ear gate, the music that we listen to, the words that we listen to when people are talking to us, when we're speaking, when we're engaging in conversation. We have to be careful what we take in, because what we take in affects our entire sensibilities. And all of that can have an effect on the baby, on the child that you're carrying. Sometimes when you're pregnant, foods that you enjoyed before you were pregnant, you try to eat those foods while you're pregnant and they're no longer appealing. Sometimes they're absolutely disgusting. And some things that you didn't like pre-pregnancy, now all of a sudden you find that you have a craving for. Isn't that something? How carrying another being on the inside of you can cause that kind of disruption or shift in your appetite. Of course, your weight shifts. We gain weight. I think nowadays doctors want you to gain about 20, 25 pounds. On my regular day job, I work in an environment where I am around pregnant women every single day. And sometimes the moms are concerned that they're not gaining enough weight, so they begin to eat more. Sometimes the moms gain too much weight because they're eating all the time. They're eating when they're upset. They're eating when they don't feel well. They're trying to feel better. So let me try eating this. Maybe this will help with some of the nausea. I'm taking the prenatals and I'm taking the iron tablets and I'm taking this nausea meds, but it's not doing anything. And so they eat their way throughout the entire pregnancy. And before you know it, some of them have gained, over 25 pounds, 30, 35, 40, 50 pounds. And your doctor is going to be concerned about that. And that's another area that we have to pay attention to. We have to be careful to keep all of our appointments. Now, of course, you know, men, even you know that when you first start, when the woman first starts going, your wife or your girlfriend first starts going to the doctor, they're going every month in the beginning stages, the first trimester, the second trimester. Then as they enter into the latter half of the second trimester, they may shift, or the first part of the third trimester, they may shift from once a month to going every 2 weeks. One every 2 weeks, just to have a wellness check to make sure that you're fine, that the baby is still progressing fine, that the baby is in the right position. They can take ultrasounds, you know, at a certain point, and they can see the sex of the child. They can let you know what the gender is, whether you're having a girl or a boy. The doctor may tell you, you know, that you need to gain a little weight or pull back a little bit, or whatever your concerns are. You're sharing all of that information with the doctor so they can best assess how you're progressing during this time. You are bringing forth or preparing to bring forth life. To bring forth life. All of these things matter. Like I said, getting enough exercise, even if it's just walking a few minutes a day. Don't sit all day. Don't lay in the bed all day. Even if it's a day where you're not feeling well, get up and be active. Be proactive about your life. Be proactive about your status then. You're carrying life that you are about to bring into this world. Life, a whole tiny human being. It's the most fascinating thing that I can think of in this earth realm that we have been given access to, the ability to help create life and then bring that life forth. So when we get to the end and it's time for the baby to be birthed, the mom begins to have those birthing pains. Not pangs, like I said earlier, Pangs, but pains now, Pains. These are the symptoms that's letting the mom know that the baby is ready to come out of that cocoon and come on out and meet the world. Meet mom, meet dad, meet siblings if they have them, meet grandparents. They're ready. So they began kind of knocking at the door. You know, they began kind of knocking at the door. And the knock is a little bit harder than the ones you felt all along for the first 8.5 months or so. You know, it might have just been a little tiny one. But when they're ready, they start knocking pretty hard. And mom knows, oh my gosh, a shift is about to take place. I'm about to have the baby, you all. She's excited. She's excited. She's nervous. She's afraid. All of those emotions may come to the surface as she prepares to go to the hospital and bring this life into the world. So before she goes, mom has another preparation. So she has to make sure that she has her bag, her hospital bag, and the hospital bag for the baby, the clothes for the baby to wear home. She needs the car seat. Babies can't leave the hospital nowadays without having a car seat. And mom wants comfortable clothing still to come home in. She wants to bring the baby home in something that the child can be comfortable and warm in as well. So they've been cocooned all this time in the belly, and now they're on the outside when they come into the world, right? So as the mom begins to have those pains, as they begin to increase, the closer the baby gets to coming down the birth canal, entering into the birth canal, and beginning to push their way out, as they come down that birth canal, those pains increase. And the mom is a bit more agitated when the pains go from being, you know, a 2, oh, that was just uncomfortable. Oh, that was nothing. That was nothing. When they go from a 2 to being a 6, to being an 8, to being a 10, mom's on the birthing bed then, or in the birthing chair, or if she's going to have a water birth, wherever she's going to give birth, she's in position by then. And usually, mom is not very communicative outside of letting you know how much pain she's in. Now, it requires practice. You can practice. You can get ready for childbirth. Again, if you are having a midwife, if you want to go natural and you want to have a midwife there with you and have the doctor on standby. If you're the kind of woman that wants to give birth at home, it's not often recommended nowadays, because if in the end there's some complications, you know, your doctor wants you to be in a place where you can get immediate immediate medical treatment if necessary. And that makes sense. That makes sense to do that. I'm going to stop and take just a sip of water. My throat's getting a little bit dry. Thank you. But when it comes time, when she is in that position to give birth, there is a birthing position, whether it's the chair or whether it's a birthing bed. And they have the stirrups there for mom to put your legs in, and you've got to get in position because you're about to push this baby out. Now, if you've practiced a little bit before, if you took Lamaze classes or if you took, another type of birthing class, and you've had a chance to practice, and before you get to the hospital, weeks before, sometimes you have those Braxton Hicks contractions. And if you're a first-time mom, sometimes the Braxton Hicks contractions get to be strong. Sometimes they do get to be close together. They're coming every 5 minutes. They feel like they're probably about a 5. And so you think it's time to go, and you go. And you get there, and you find out, false alarm. The doctor says, you're not even dilated. The baby's not coming because the cervix, the vaginal opening has to dilate for the baby to come out. They got a head. Big, small, and medium. They got a head that has to come through there. Then they got the shoulders has to come through there. So the mom's body has to be prepared to give birth. And so if the cervix isn't opening, baby can't get out. Now, doctors can rush things up. Like I said, they can induce labor. They can break your waters to bring that baby forth early. But that's all a position, and that's all a preparation that must be done sometimes at the last minute. They don't oftentimes, decide. They will oftentimes, they will sometimes decide at the last minute. Mom, we're going to induce your labor. Maybe you're overdue. Maybe you're right at 38, 39 weeks. And maybe your cervix is not open. Or maybe you've only been, you're dilated, but you're only 2 or 3 centimeters, and you've been that way for 2 or 3 weeks. So they may decide that they're going to induce labor to help speed it up. And all of that, they insert the balloon or they give you the pill, whichever method that they use. But they have these medical methods that they can use to help birth that baby and get that baby out. And usually by then, moms, we're tired. We're tired. We're telling the baby, you know what, honey? I love you, but you're about to be evicted. You got to go. You're taking up all my space. I can't eat anything outside of a sandwich. I can't eat a whole plate of food because you all down here and all up here all at the same time. It feels like the baby sometimes is sitting on top of your lungs. Sometimes it feels like they're sitting on top of your intestines. Men, y'all should have empathy for us because it's a thing to try and bring this baby into the world. So, but now we're at the point where it's time, right? And you're at the hospital and you're in the birthing chair, the birthing bed or whatever, and you are positioned to give birth. You're in the proper position to give birth. Everything is lining up. You know that the baby is ready because, of course, her head is down and they're starting to he or she is starting to push through that birthing canal, and those pains are coming. They're coming every 2 or 3 minutes. They're lasting 30 seconds or up to a minute, sometimes a minute and a half, and you're gripping onto those bed rails and you're shaking sometimes and you're trembling. You're trying to bring life forth. So it takes all of your effort. If you've taken the Lamaze classes and you've gone through the breathing stages and, they've told you, your midwife or your partner, they've told you when it's time to breathe, how to breathe, you're going through that he, blow, he, blow, he, blow. Yeah, all of that. My children are all adults now, but I've not forgotten that. I've forgotten that part. You're trying to bring life into this world. You are a lively being, bringing a lively being into this physical world. And it takes all of your effort to do so. Let me tell you, so many of your major organs and your major systems of the body are affected and impacted when you bring in life into the world. Your heart is affected. Your muscles and your organs are affected. Your blood is affected. Your breathing pattern is affected. All of those things. And I'm not even addressing, because I don't want to shed a negative light, but I'm not even addressing some of the negative things that could go wrong when you're giving childbirth, when you're bringing life into this world. What if your iron, your blood, what if your iron is low? And the doctor may be afraid that you may not have enough blood, or there'll be too much blood, loss of blood. What if the mom's birth canal is very narrow and it's not wide enough for the baby to push through? What if the cervix doesn't open enough? Even after they've given you some assistance, the cervix doesn't open enough for the mom to push that baby through. Just imagine, this is the baby and this is the mom's cervix, right? What if it's only to this one? What if it's only open like this much? It's only open this much, but you have to get a whole baby through there. It's only open this much, right? See, well, can you all see the side of my hand? You can't really see. It's only open this much, right? And you got to get a whole baby through there. How are they going to fit? How are they going to fit? This is the baby's head trying to get through, right? This is like this. This is the baby in there, and the baby's trying to get out. But you only open this much. So look, baby can't get through there. So then they decide that they have to do a C-section, emergency surgery. So then that's when they have to go in and do a tiny cut across the mom's belly towards the bottom of her belly. And then they have to lift the baby out. My oldest daughter, when I was birthing her, she was the one that only took 3.5 hours when I went into actual labor. But towards the end of the labor, I became ill. So ill until I was vomiting, regurgitating. I was cold no matter how many blankets they gave me. I was shaking and trembling. I mean, my teeth were chattering. I was so cold trying to bring this life into the world, shaking and trembling. They gave me the gas to put me out. I did not have to have a cesarean, but I couldn't push that baby through. They had to go in and get her. I was no help to them whatsoever. They gave me that gas. They said, count backwards, Mom, count backwards from 10, starting at 10. I said, 10, 9. I was gone. It was over for me. I was no help to them whatsoever. So they had to go in and get her. They had to pull her out with forceps. When she came out, she had little marks on her cheeks from where they had pulled her out with the forceps, grabbing her this way and pulling her forward so that she could come out. They used giant forceps. They looked like tongues. You know, the tongues we use when we're cooking them with barbecuing, but they were huge, really big, but not too big for an infant, of course, because they didn't want to damage her, hurt her anyway, and they did not. But the baby came out. The baby came out, and life, a new life, entered into this world. Now, I've gone through that long, drawn-out explanation about pregnancy and childbirth and the changes we go through. Men, you can't push a baby out. It's not physically possible. You don't have the correct anatomy internally to do so. But we all birth something in the season of our lives. Some of us birth more than one thing in the season of our lives. And whatever it is that you are carrying at that time, you're pregnant with something. You're pregnant with a vision. What about you're pregnant with purpose? What about you're pregnant and passionate about something? And you're carrying this thing. And the only way you can get rid of it is to birth it. You ever thought about it like that? It's like carrying a baby. It truly is. When you're carrying purpose, when you're carrying passion, when you're carrying your assignment, that's your baby. It's your baby. It's your child, if you will, that you're going to birth into the earth realm, usually for the benefit of others. When we have our children, we oftentimes share them with other people. As parents, we share our babies with their grandparents, with our grandparents, their great grands. We share them with our siblings, their aunts and their uncles. We share them with our nieces and our nephews, their cousins. We share them with our next door neighbor. Their children end up being their friends. We share them when they go off to school. They get shared with their teachers and their classmates. Such is the same thing when you bring purpose, when you bring your assignment into the earth realm. You are pregnant with purpose. You are pregnant. You are carrying a live thing in your belly. And the only way you get rid of that live thing is to birth it into the earth realm. Maybe what you're carrying is a book that you've always wanted to write, but you never have. The desire to do so doesn't go away. You think about it day in and day out. You think about it year after year. I should write a book about whatever you should write a book about. I think that I could do a short movie. I think I could do a documentary of the things that I've seen in my neighborhood and in my community for the last 20 years. I've grown up here. I've seen it change and evolve. Maybe you left the community, and you come back and you see the difference that it is now, than what it was when you grew up there. Did it change for the better? Did it change for the worse? You come back to visit and you see it as it is, and you just can't help but remember the good old days back there. You can't help but remember how you played at the fire hydrant, the water hydrant. They would turn it on a hot summer day and let it run for hours so you and your friends can be cool, because there was no access to a swimming pool in your community or in your neighborhood. So you played in the fire hydrant. You drank water from the water hose, and you didn't have to worry about any kind of poison or lead. You played outside in the streets. Nobody ever got hit or run over. There was a different respect in your community and in your neighborhood then than there is now. Perhaps you were the kind of person that journaled every single day. Maybe you journaled about that. Maybe you journaled about something else. Whatever it was, just your life. Just the things that you're going through, or that you've been through, just the things you've been exposed to. Just everyday life. Everyday life of Victoria. What if I wrote about my life every day growing up as a child? What if I journaled all of the time? I journaled about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between. And now you have all of this material, and you think, maybe I can turn my journal into some kind of book that's going to help someone else. Maybe you journaled all of your experiences, all of which I'm sure there was a balance, because not all of them were good every single day. You had good days and you had bad days, just like the rest of us. But maybe your bad days were really bad. And maybe in the midst of everything that you were going through, you found a way to cope. You found a way to find peace in the midst of the madness that might have been going on in your home, in your community, at your school, or even in your head. And now, what you have in that journal and all those writings and all of the art that you created depicting how you were feeling and what you were going through, now you have a self-help tool for someone else today that's going through what you went through 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's a baby, y'all. It's a baby. And the reason why you can't get rid of the idea, the reason why you can't get rid of the thought, is because you're pregnant. Men, you're pregnant with purpose. When you have something like that, that's always on your mind, it's always on your heart. Maybe you're a recovering drug addict or a recovered drug addict, substance abuser, former substance abuser. Maybe you found your way out. Maybe you've been clean for so many years. And now you can share your story with someone else to help them along the way. And you think about it. I should write a book, or I should start a men's home. I should start a shelter for men that are recovering from various substance abuses. It's a baby, y'all. I'm telling you what it is. It's a baby. And whether it's a physical baby or whether it's a book baby, a movie baby, a business baby, whatever it is, a 501c3 baby, whatever kind of baby it is, you go through all of the physical pains and pangs as a woman might go through when she's pregnant with a human life form. Ask me how I know. Even though I'm a mother of 4, I am also a birthing creator of other things. This channel that you're watching right now was a dream of mine for years. And I thought, I enjoy this. I enjoy teaching manners and protocol principles. I enjoy mentoring young people. I did it before I really knew what I was doing. And I talked about manners when I had a daycare business. And it was just something I could never get away from. And then I met someone else who was just as passionate about it as I was. We never put our heads together to create a business of our own. But she already had hers. And eventually I created mine. And look at what I'm doing today. Pregnant with purpose. Maybe yours is a ministry. Maybe yours is a school. Maybe yours is a day camp. Maybe yours is a cookie shop. Maybe yours is a delicatessen. Maybe yours is opening up a retail business. Maybe yours is becoming a real estate mogul. Maybe yours is being a hairstylist, a nail tech. Maybe yours is a love for animals. Maybe yours is the rights of people that are being mistreated. Whatever yours is, it's a baby. It's a baby. And the reason why sometimes you feel so sick about it, you're thinking about it, and it just is like, I just can't get rid of this thing. I keep thinking about it. But I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. How am I going to do that? I'm not connected to the right people, and I just don't know. I just don't think I can. I don't know. This is not really for me. It's for somebody else. I'll tell somebody else about it. That's what I'll do. Maybe they can do it. Maybe they can. And if you tell somebody about your baby, They don't mind adopting it. They don't mind adopting your baby. If you don't want it, somebody does. But what happens if you abort your baby? Because, see, there's a difference in placing your child for adoption and then just outright killing it. One is murder. One is murder. If you kill it, it's murder. If you place your child for adoption with a family that openly wants to receive the child as their own, then you are entrusting it to someone else who's willing to take on the responsibility of caring for that child for the next 21, 24 years of their life. There's a difference. So let's get to our topic. The baby that I almost aborted was my own vision. The baby that I almost aborted was my own vision. Because some days I just thought I can't pull it all together. It's not the way I really want it. I don't know if I'm really called to this. Should I do this or not? I'm not reaching all the people that I want to reach, and I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I really should. So, guess what? I walked away. And when I would get the downloads for the business, when I would get the download for the next steps, when I would get the download for the next move to make, squash. I'm not ready. Or they're not ready. They aren't going to receive me. I almost aborted my baby. I went through morning sickness. I went through headaches. I went through weight gain, and I mean physical weight gain. And then I went through physical weight loss. I was nauseated at times. I was overwhelmed at times, overburdened at times. Couldn't see my way through. Sometimes it was all I could do to get up out of the bed. But I wasn't letting that baby out. I was not giving room or giving place or space to the thing that was growing within me, my baby. I said, she can wait. I'm not doing it. As a matter of fact, there's enough other people out there that's doing it, and they're doing it better than I am. So I'm just, no. I don't have the resources. I don't have the access that they do. I can't move in the circles that they do. I don't know the people like the people that they know. I don't know those people. And they aren't coming my way. And it made me sick. I mean, it literally made me sick. Because instead of walking in purpose, I was walking away from purpose. Instead of nurturing purpose, I neglected purpose. Instead of feeding purpose, I starved purpose. I starved her. I said, she ain't hungry. No, I'm not doing a scope. No, I'm not writing a class. No, I'm not doing it because and them and somebody said you know all of that other stuff. So no, 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 I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And so I neglected her for years. For years, I neglected her until one day I got so sick and tired of being so sick and tired until there was nothing I could do but to nurture this baby and bring her forward. So then I began to feed her. How? How did I feed her? When I got the downloads, I wrote them down. I created a plan. I made a choice that now this baby's going to live and she shall not die. She's going to live and she shall not die. So, in spite of what I was going through, in spite of my emotional imbalance, I love her today and I don't like her tomorrow. I love her this morning and I just want to kill her tonight. In spite of feeling like that, in spite of having limited resources, I said, I'm going to press through. I'm going to press through. I'm going to find a different way to do this. I am going to find a way to feed this baby so much until she grows strong and healthy and our purposes are aligned because she wants to live. I didn't want her to live. At one point, I didn't want her to live. And I almost aborted her. I didn't feed her. I didn't nurture her. I didn't talk to her. I didn't sing to her. I didn't dance with her. I didn't take her anywhere. I didn't talk about her. But one day, I woke up and I said, she deserves a chance at least. She at least deserves that much. Can't I give her that much? As her creator, the creator that created me created this thing in me. And so if I don't owe it to her, don't I at least owe it to him to take care of the seeds that he's given me? Should I take my seed and plant it in the ground and never put any water on it? Never position it in the sunshine? Never go by and pull up the weeds? Never go to check on it, just plant it in the ground and forget about it? Walk all over it? Barrier? Never to be known, let alone remembered? Come on. Come on. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. The purpose was bigger than me. The purpose still is bigger than me. But I decided to love her. I decided to nurture her. I decided to plant her, to water her, to make sure that she got sunshine, to make sure she got all the nutrients that she needed. So I began to feed myself. I got my hands on everything that had anything to do with etiquette, that had anything to do with manners, that had anything to do with business. And I gave her life. And now, guess what? She gives me life. She gives me life. I'm so glad that I didn't abort her. And she'll soon be 7 years old. And look how much she's grown in 7 years. What if I had left her buried? Because see, dreams don't die, people. Dreams don't die. They may fade away. They may fade away because we don't give them the attention and the time they need. So they may seem to dissipate. But dreams don't really die. Dreams don't really die. Your purpose, you kill it. It doesn't die in and of itself. It's there knocking all the time. Hello, hello, hello. Mom, Dad, can't you see me in here? Can't you hear me? Can't you feel me? I'm knocking. I want to get out. Help me. Help me. I can't do it by myself. I need your help. We shouldn't be murderers. We shouldn't be murderers. What happens in society when one person kills another? The person that is dead. But the person that committed the crime is different than I said last night. You commit the crime, you got to do time. If you commit the crime, you have to do the time. There is a price to pay for you killing, for you aborting your baby. You'll always know that you did it. Even if you don't tell anybody, you'll always know. Even if you never told anybody about the baby, you'll always know that you killed it, that you killed your baby. Because you didn't bring it to fruition. You didn't bring it into the earth realm. You didn't bring it to share with someone. You didn't bring it to set someone free. You didn't bring it to empower anyone. You didn't bring it to help someone to overcome. You didn't bring it to make the quality of some person's life better. You didn't bring it to educate anyone. You didn't bring it. You starved him or her to death. You stifled them. You silenced their voice. Silence their ability to set others free. You silence their ability to bring life to another person's baby. What are you guilty of this morning? I was guilty of almost being a murderer. Thank God, dreams and purpose don't die unless we kill it. Sometimes we kill a thing and we bury it so deep until we almost forgot it happened. Now, I did that in another circumstance that was very traumatic for me, that was also pivotal. It changed my life for 40 years. And even though I buried it so deep because it hurt so bad, it was so painful and humiliating and degrading, I buried it so deep that I didn't want to deal with it. I almost forgot that it happened to me, thinking I was protecting myself, but really I was imprisoning myself. So even if the baby that you're carrying is some kind of trauma, I know this may be hard to receive. If the baby that you're carrying is some kind of trauma, and you want to keep it buried, I beg of you this morning to reconsider. I beg of you this morning to rethink the matter. I beg of you this morning to sit down and carefully reassess the trauma. Will you be better leaving it buried, or will you be better bringing it to the surface? If you don't help the world, you will help at least one person. That one person will be you. If you don't help anybody else by bringing your trauma to the surface, you will help at least one person. And the one person will be you. And if you are the one person that you help to set free, don't you then know that you could potentially be freeing hundreds of other people as well? Because someone else's freedom might be predicated upon yours. What if you never tell your story? What if you never tell about the baby that you carried, that you almost aborted? You free at least one person. And the one person being free can free many others. Right? Whew. Thursday thoughts, you all. Thursday thoughts. Sharing a piece of my mind with you. That's what the Thursday Thought platform is. I share a little bit of the ramblings that goes on in my head. And when this topic came, I said, oh my gosh. Really? Really, God? Really? So this is just an open portal to more to come, because I set Victoria free by birthing this baby. But now I have other children that are in the making. I have other babies that I'm carrying. Pregnant with purpose again, purpose of a different type. But every time you have a vision, every time you have an eternal knowing within your inner man that won't let you rest, that won't let you sleep. You thought about it last year, you thought about it the year before, and now we're about to embark upon a new year and you're still thinking about it. Guess what, honey? It's your baby. They're trying to get out. Help him or her. The seed has already been planted in you. Now you have to water it. You have to give it sunshine. You have to talk to it. You have to play music to it. You have to dance with it. Some days you're going to cry. It's a part. All of the pregnancy journey. It's all a part of it. As moms, sometimes we cry. We don't even know why we're crying when we're pregnant, because we just say it. I'm just saying it. But it's a part of it. It's a part of being pregnant. I told you that every part of your physical body is affected when you're pregnant. Your mind is affected. Guess what? Our teeth get affected sometimes. Sometimes our vision changes when we're pregnant. We get dark circles under our eyes. We sometimes get dark blotches on our face. Sometimes our skin becomes very, very dry. Right? Not to speak of this protruding belly that we have out in front of us. What time is it? I don't want to go over my time. Not to speak of this protruding belly that we have in front of us, that's evident to everyone that sees us. Oh my gosh, she's having a baby. Did you see that pregnant lady? Men, we can't see the protrusion of your belly, but we can see on the outside the things that you might be putting in place to bring your baby forth. Now, men, you might not want to call it that. You can call it purpose. You can call it assignment, because that's what it is. It's your calling. It's your purpose. It's your assignment. It's your passion. It's your duty. It's your responsibility. Put whatever label you want on it, but own it. Claim it. Name it. Nurture it. Take care of it. And at the appropriate time, you will bring that baby to life. When it's time for the baby to come forth, you will labor like a mom in labor. You will go through some travailing to bring it forth. When you get to the end, it's almost time to release your book. There's going to be a flurry of activity because your book is about to be released. You are going to let all of your friends know. You're going to let your coworkers know, your neighbors know, hey, the book that I've been talking about for the past 2 years is finally about to be released. You got your agent long before you decided that the book was going to come out on such and such date. You got your marketing people together so that it could be noised abroad that your book is coming. Your baby is about to be birthed. Your business, the gym that you're opening, right? The bookstore, the villa. Why do I hear that word? Someone has plans to open a villa, a vacation villa. Go for it. Go for it. Get your business plan in order. All of the things that you need will fall into place when you decide that, yes, I'm going to have this baby. I'm going to bring this baby forth. For some, it'll take a few months. For others, it might take a few years. The key here is diligence and tenacity. Never lose hope, never lose faith. Go to your creator. He is the source of everything that you need. Your creator is the source of everything that you need. And all the provision that you need will be made available to you when you get into motion. This fist doesn't get fed. This hand doesn't get fed because it's closed. This one can receive everything because it's open. When I open this one, then they both can receive what they need. Open your heart, open your eyes, open your ears to receive the fruits and the benefits of what has been planted in you that you are supposed to bring forth. That baby. That baby. Don't be like me, like I was years ago. I almost aborted her. I almost left her for dead. But thank God that dreams don't die unless we kill them. They're resilient. They're strong. They can stand going through the storm. They can stand that. They can stand that. They can. And guess what? You can too. You can too. If the baby can take it and you're carrying the baby, that means you can take it. Right? Thank you all so much for being a part of my platform on this morning, Victoria School of Etiquette. These are Thursday thoughts I'm sharing with you, but this is a true story. This is a very true story that I embarked upon years ago. And here I am, like I said today, almost 7 years later. Here I am today with many, 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 many more years to go. And we will be better, we will be greater, we will be bigger because I'm still nurturing her, still growing her. Right? So thank you all so much for being here on this morning. It is Thursday. So we're almost to the weekend, y'all. We're almost there. We're almost there. It's a little bit cool here in the Shy today, but I hope it wasn't as pleasant or at least bearable wherever you are. And I am praying that you have a wonderfully blessed day on today, a productive day. Don't forget what you're carrying. It's valuable. It's valuable. And somebody else needs it just as much or more than you do. So don't put it on the back burner anymore. It's time out for that. Time out. Don't blame it on this season. Don't dare blame it on this season. Don't dare say don't say it. That's not an excuse or a reason for you not to move forward. Because whatever resources and materials that you need, God will provide it for you, especially if and when you ask. And if you don't know him, get to know him. Just call his name. He'll answer you. He will answer you because he wants you to be a part of his family as much as you want to be a part of a place where you can absolutely belong just as you are. I gotta watch my time. Yeah, I'm just about there. It's almost 9 o'clock. So listen, This is Lady Victoria with Victoria School of Etiquette, where we offer a solution to your etiquette dilemmas. Thank you so much for being a part of our broadcast on this morning. Please like and share across your various social media platforms. I've been testing out Restream here for the past several weeks, and it seems to be working out for me. I'm learning how to use it better and better. So, for those of you that are watching me live on Facebook, on both of my pages, they both should be up. My fan page and my fan page and my personal page, Victoria School of Etiquette and Lady Victoria. Same name across all of my platforms. On Periscope is Victoria School of Etiquette. On Instagram is Victoria School of Etiquette Lady VL. Those are my initials. And I'm also live here on Periscope. So, and YouTube. So wherever you're watching from, please like and share across your various social media platforms. Let me know how you enjoyed this video by dropping some comments in the comment section below. I only see so many here. I'm sure that there are others that are out there. And when I see them, I will respond to them. I will still upload this to my YouTube channel later on today. So listen, you all go on and be great. Birth the baby. Nurture the baby. Take care of the baby. Right? Bring your vision and your purpose forth. Right? Amen. Amen. You all have a wonderfully great day. Until the next time, Lady Victoria, we'll chat again. But bye for now.